time is flying by so quickly. Yeah, let's go through some updates from our end. One of the things that, if you guys, for those who just joined, we've shared the PowerPoint for today's session in the whiteboard, so you guys can go follow along. One of the things that we've done over the last 2 weeks is integrating our existing products into different ecosystem solutions. So namely wallets and aggregators. So what that means is, we've been picked up by Polka Wallet. The taiKSM pool is actually one of the pools that they're recollecting right now. So what that does is it actually provides more exposure for these solutions. So we continue to explore as well as integrate these solutions into other wallets. Obviously, there's a few others that's specifically operating within the Polkadot ecosystem that we're also talking to. Another update is around the withdrawal of the liquidity for $3 with the 3 pool. So, for those who's contributing stablecoin liquidity to 3 pool currently, now you have the option to withdraw the liquidity in proportion or into a single format. So basically what it does is, it helps you guys, save some gas fees, as well as save some gas fee from transactions, as well as it just makes life a little bit easier. As we continue to make these products more efficient, you guys will see, these mini feature updates along the way. So we've actually provided links to both of these integrations and updates at the bottom, so you guys can check it out. But I would say one of the, moving on to the next slide, I would say one of the more critical updates over the last 2 weeks is we've bootstrapped the 3 pool to 1.5 million in terms of TVL. So for those who's not familiar, 3 pool is made up of AUSD, USDC, and USDT. This pool has actually received a 20,000 KSM subsidy grant from the Kusama Treasury Council. So with that being said, we've mentioned a couple of times in different occasions that 3 pool is a very attractive proposition for stablecoin holders because it provides a very diversified sources of yield. For those who's not familiar, again, we have recordings and materials around how the 3 pool accumulates yield. But right now, the yield for 3 pool is around 25%. And one of the biggest benefit is that this yield is actually quite sustainable. So it's been live for 4 weeks now, 1.5 million TVL. Obviously, we're still working towards calling for more LPs. However, there's one limitation currently, which is with USDT. USDT is natively minted on StateMine. However, right now there's a cap. And overall, the minting of USDT, it's not that user-friendly currently. So that's one bottleneck that we're working on resolving. And also, last week, Akala introduced a new program called the Inter-Protocol AUSD Distribution Scheme, short for IADS, so IADS. There's a pretty detailed proposal going on currently, and they're basically testing this scheme with, we're at the 3 pool on Karuna is actually the first protocol to integrate this this scheme with the Akala team. So what it does is it basically uses AUSD. It basically injects AUSD into the 3 pool and basically using 3 USD, the LP token, as a collateral type for AUSD. So what that does ultimately is it increase the collaterals for AUSD, which then allows for an increased limit for the minting of AUSD. So there's a number of benefits, but obviously that's one of the biggest benefits. It's to help AUSD to maintain a stable peg, because now that if AUSD is using, let's say, the 3-pool LP token as a collateral type, then what that does is the composition becomes more diversified in terms of it's going to be made up of USDT, USDC, and AUSD. However, this is not saying that all the AUSD in circulation is going to be operating in this format. It's only basically the AUSD that gets deposited to the repool that will be backed. So we're progressively testing out this scheme. There's, I believe, around 100K of AUSD that's currently injected in the 3-pool just to test out this scheme. Once the proposal passes, we're going to increase the limit, and we are looking forward to seeing this scheme play out effectively, because once it proves to work, I believe IAD's program is going to extend to other parachains. So moving on, as I mentioned in the previous slide, right now our current products are actually listed on one of the major data aggregators, which is DeFi Llama. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with them. Now you can track the synthetic DOT, tDOT, the 3-pool LP token, 3USD, as well as taiKSM via DeFi Llama. Just makes it a little bit easier if DeFi Llama is part of your daily workflow. Ultimately tracks the TVL as well as the APY. It's not completely accurate here. It should be APR, but one thing that we're working on is also getting aggregated into other data aggregator platforms just to provide more exposure. So basically just rounding out these, I would say, features and functions for this product would be our continued focus. So moving on, I think last time when we chatted, I was actually attending Polkadot Decoded in Berlin. I had the opportunity to share with the community on specifically some of the issues that we identify in the Polkadot ecosystem around the DOT derivatives, the different formats of DOT derivatives. So the session was actually was a good turnout. Was able to take the time to explain, how we currently see the landscape in Polkadot, as well as some of the problems and opportunities. The recording has just been uploaded onto YouTube. For those who are interested, the full playback is available. I am actually going to be giving out a similar talk at Paris, the DOT event tomorrow. I think it's going to be streamed. I'm not exactly sure. I need to double check. But for those who's in the European time zone, you guys can always tune in or stay tuned for the feedback, for the playback. But it's good. It's good to get a chance to interact with the community, as well as just see some of the guys that we've sort of been working together with over the last 15, 16 months, ecosystem partners, and be able to meet up with them and talk about, Polkadot things. So moving on, last week also we had a crowdcast with Kala, mainly to talk about tDOT. So for those who hasn't been paying attention to the Kala ecosystem, right now they have around 6 million LDOT minted, not minted, staked. They have around 6 million LDOT staked. That's a they're leading all the other solutions in terms of volume, in terms of liquid staking solutions. And what's good is that tDOT obviously integrates very closely with LDOT. So one thing that we're working on right now is LDOT is getting incentivized via AUSD and ACA token. So we'll be moving that to the tDOT level. So what's going to happen is if you're minting tDOT, you will not only receive the underlying swap transaction fees, but you'll also be getting the additional subsidy that you would normally get from just holding LDOT, and also the staking yield from LDOT. And then in addition, what we're working on with the Apollo team is we're applying for a DOT grant, subsidy grant, again, similar to what we did for 3Pool on Karura. But except this time we're applying for DOT from the DOT Treasury Council, and that will be used to basically incentivize the tDOT pool. So again, we're trying to position tDOT to be the standard, not only in terms of yield, but also use cases. One thing that I'm working on over the last couple of weeks is to, number one, expand our palettes into other ecosystems, other parachains, and then the other major initiative that I'm working on is talking to protocols. Because right now, I would say there are still maybe a bit more parachains versus protocols in the Polkadot ecosystem. So it's also good that we're one of the earliest protocols going live with actual use case and actual implementation processes. So what that means is if there are new protocols that are popping up, these are basically application builders. We can very much easily talk to them to see how they would like to integrate sort of like a standardized derivatives or synthetic, which is tDOT. So we have a few teams in the pipeline working around the integration opportunity. Moving on, I kind of shared this already. I'm in Paris right now. My talk is going to be tomorrow at 2:30 Central European time. I think it's going to be streamed. I'm not sure. I need to double check, but it's definitely recorded. If any of you guys are at the event, definitely do come say hello. I think you guys all know how I look like. It's funny because last time when I was in Berlin, there was quite a number of guys that were part of our community, or at least one of the early users of the Taiga protocol, and they actually came up and just showed their support to us. So that was great. I mean, it's good to actually put the face to the names, and also get some insight and intelligence by interacting with some of our community members. So if you're around, definitely don't be shy, and I'll be happy to chat and exchange with you. And then finally, the last piece is around our ambassador program. So I think we've actually onboarded 1 or 2 new ambassadors over the last month. I'm quite excited because obviously we see the number one, the quality as well as the enthusiasm of our ambassadors that are coming in. I think I mentioned, many times that it's critical for us to build out this ambassador program from the ground up, meaning that we have a pretty rigorous process of screening as well as identifying what type of talent or skill set the individual can bring onto the team. And I strongly encourage everyone who's interested in the Polkadot ecosystem, maybe not necessarily interested in parachains, but maybe more like DeFi type of applications or DeFi primitives, to look into joining our ambassador program. As I mentioned, we're definitely one of the earliest teams, protocol teams, to be building in Polkadot. And one of the unique value proposition is we're not actually competing with any of the staking or crowdloan derivative solutions introduced by parachains. So it makes our positioning like much more unique versus other parachain teams, because ultimately with parachains that are also doing DeFi stuff, it's likely that they will also introduce their own liquid staking or liquid crowdloan products, which means ultimately they'll be competing with each other. But anyways, ultimately it comes down to your interests and your personal interests, as well as what you see to be getting out of our program. And strongly encourage you guys to maybe have a chat with some of our existing ambassadors to see how that experience is like. And if there are any feedback from our existing ambassadors, definitely welcome you guys to provide that feedback to myself or answer directly. I do apologize, haven't been able to spend too much time in Discord over the last month or so. I've been just completely slammed, from all directions. So as soon as, but I'm working on a few things that would alleviate myself a little bit from the capacity. But as soon as I am able to do that, right, I'll be back in the Discord, checking in with what's going on. But I think one thing is, as long as we're able to sort of have these ongoing community calls as well as our ambassador calls, that would sort of provide me with a good grip of what is currently going on in our own community. So with that being said, those are the things that I want to share with you guys today. I do want to cap today's session to 30 minutes because I have a few things lined up that I need to attend to. But let me just take a quick look to see whether there are any questions. I think the chat function was not turned on. So people can pose questions, answer. Are you there?
The function is enabled.
Okay, I can always write. All right, so no questions so far. I assume that's a good sign if I don't see any questions. Okay, cool. Channel is opened. Great. So maybe I'll leave a couple minutes because I need to have a hard stop by the 30-minute mark. So yeah, and for those who just don't feel like typing, right, you guys can also ask questions directly via voice. Don't be shy. I see quite a number of new names here. 0x Adrian, hello. I've never seen you before. Kate is also new. Ponzi Partaker, I think you're also new. Steels, I think you're also new. Big B, I've seen you. KL0, usual. Chocho, I know you. Does Taiga have any 3-arrow exposure? No, don't. We're not in that big league yet, unfortunately. Yeah, it's this unwinding. It's still going on. So everyone, hope you guys stay safe out there. Which time zone are you in? Third and third. EST. Oh, nice. It's late for you, or early, I should say. Actually, no. It's actually normal time. Sorry, it's like around 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. See, my time zones are all getting mixed up right now. Early, but a good morning. Great. So any questions, just feel free to drop it into the chat. I think one thing that we could possibly do is to also try different time zones, because I think there are. I'm not sure if this is like a new time. Let me see. Yeah, we can also try like different time zones just to see like which one works best. We've tried like a few different ones, but I think it's good to get enough coverage to see like how many people can attend. Oh, I think one thing that I forgot to mention is like the ongoing ambassador programs. I think you guys who are in here, I'm just taking a quick look. Either you guys are already have roles or you guys are ambassadors. So yeah, I would strongly encourage you guys to partake in these programs that we're running, because as I mentioned, and this is also something that I'm planning for, is a potential crowd sale for Tapio. So yeah, for those who are not aware, right, definitely try to partake in the in these events so that you guys can level up your XP, because there will be a quite stringent criteria on the sale. But that's something that I'm working on with one of these public sale platforms. So all right, we have 2 minutes left. I don't see any new questions coming in. So I think we can call it the session. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Obviously, ambassadors, we always appreciate your support. Stay tuned. There's going to be quite a number of things coming up that I think will be a good signal in terms of development. So definitely stay tuned to what's going on. All right, Steels is trying to squeeze in the last question, I think. So let's wait for Steels. Steels is also a tracker, by the way, so he knows what's going on. We actually have 83 trackers now. That's not bad. That's not bad. Nah, just stop mentioning me every week. No problem. You're not new. Got it. I thought you were new. Yeah. Thank you, Steels. I'm gonna stop shouting you out. All right, guys. Gonna have to hop off. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you guys are, and we'll speak with you guys in 2 weeks' time. Cheers.